if you want to start your adventure journey, these are the respective entry-level motorcycles from their brand, the KTM 250 Adventure, the XPulse 210. This is not the entry level for Hero, but yeah, it is a new XPulse 210. So let's find out which is the better ADV motorcycle.
We are not considering another 230cc entry-level adventure motorcycle from Japan. Recently got a massive price cut, which is less powerful than that still.
We are digressing there. This is about the Kawasaki. Let's focus on the KTM and the Hero.
Now I know, let's get the most obvious thing out of the way. The XPulse is the better off-road machine. There is no two ways about it. More suspension travel, better wheel setup, and overall the ergonomics as well as the lightweight help it go, say, in all of these muddy situations. And even when you have a fall, like I did, the editor put the footage right here.
He will.
So even when you fall, there's nothing that is significantly damaged on the motorcycle, just a little bruising on the mirror.
Yeah, and it's very easy to pick up this motorcycle because of its lightweight nature. Yes, as an off-road motorcycle, the XPulse 210, especially now with the newer frame, just feels better compared to the older XPulse also. So if you want an off-road motorcycle, clearly this is the winner.
The KTM, you can take it out on, say, a rough road, but don't expect it to go trail bashing. That's it.
Minor trails is fine, but yeah, this is like hardcore. From the off-road, let's come back to the road. Let's talk about highway performance and how the XPulse was better on off-road. The KTM 250 Adventure is clearly better when it comes to highway.
So in case if you want a touring motorcycle, this is far better setup. Right from the engine, extra horsepower, torque and the displacement advantage helps. So sitting at 100, 110 kmph, the KTM feels far more settled and far more refined than the XPulse 210. It's not like the XPulse is not capable, it's far more capable than the old 200, and the 200 felt strange, the 210 isn't. But it's just that this feels a little more refined and a little well sustained, and it can do slightly higher speeds as well in case we wanted to.
Clearly. So the XPulse still feels better around say 85, 95, around 100. It will do 100 kph, but the KTM clearly feels easier, better. And when you want to overtake at those speeds, on the XPulse you'll have to go at least 2 gears down. On the KTM you just need to do one downshift and you can do the overtake. So as a pure touring machine on the highway, the KTM 250 Adventure has the advantage, and that also goes through the gearbox also. Both are 6-speed gearbox. KTM clearly has the better gearbox in terms of shift quality, feels better.
And the quick shifter is just superb.
Exactly.
Right?
The quick shifter is also an advantage on the KTM. So if you're looking for a highway motorcycle, clearly the KTM 250 Adventure has the advantage.
And what also matters is that the aero setup around the KTM as well as the ergonomics gives you that upright sense of feeling. So it feels far more substantial when you're out on the highway and you are far more relaxed. There's a lot more room in the saddle to move around. The bars are nice and wide, and overall this is a very lovely stance for touring.
Exactly. And it feels like a big motorcycle, the KTM 250 Adventure. I'm not saying the XPulse doesn't feel like a big bike. It feels like a more of a dirt bike in that sense.
Correct.
But the KTM 250 Adventure, wider bars, more space, the rally tower kind of instrument console, it just gives you the vibe of a proper big motorcycle. And in terms of ergos, I think for long distance riding also, it has the advantage.
Yeah. And in case if you do stumble upon some corners during your tours, well, again, the KTM with its sort of jacked up Duke-like, say, setup, it just handles the corners beautifully. In case if you are wondering how grippy these tires are, these dual-purpose tires are, they are incredible. You can carry some serious leans and you won't even notice that you are doing that. So even in the corners, this is just fun. That, because of its larger 21-inch front wheel, just feels a little lazier in comparison.
Also, the narrower tires on the XPulse kind of restrict its handling dynamics. And the other thing of the KTM 250 Adventure is you feel that KTM DNA when it comes to handling. Like, that is a good job done by the KTM guys.
Yeah. And lastly, braking also. This is far better setup. So even though this doesn't get sintered pads, this still has those Mew organic ones, as Bajaj likes to call them, but they are still up to the task, good for this sort of performance level.
Yeah, the bite feels good. There is nice feel through the lever. The XPulse, my issue is that the bite is a bit too soft, and there's a lot of fork dive. Again, I can understand because of the extra suspension travel, the dynamics of this motorcycle, they have tuned it like that. But sheer braking, again, the KTM has the advantage.
So touring, this is king. Off-roading, that is better. Lastly, city.
So now let's come back to the city where most of the time will be spent on this motorcycles. First, talk about agility. I think the XPulse, because of its lightweight nature, just feels easier to cut through the traffic. And also the dimension wise, the KTM feels like a big bike.
Yeah, it's longer as well. So, say making a way through traffic, you will need to put in a little more effort when you compare it to the XPulse. But overall, in isolation, this is still a fairly light and agile motorcycle. It's just that the XPulse is a little better that way.
Exactly.
Right?
And let's talk about comfort, because most of the off-roading for us is done on our metro roads, which are like
Main roads.
terrible conditions, potholes, whatnot. And on that note, again, the XPulse, longer travel suspension, the suspension tuning of this motorcycle, it just glides through over everything. So basically on the KTM also, the suspension tuning is good. But on some potholes, you might have to stand up. On the XPulse, you don't have to stand up. You just sit on this motorcycle, just power through it. And that's the beauty of an adventure motorcycle. And that's why I think that government should give 18% GST on off-road motorcycles, because they can't do anything with the road tax. So if you can't improve the roads, at least reduce the tax on adventure bikes here.
18
Anyway,
five lower tax slab. Okay,
anyways, coming back. So yeah, in terms of comfort, this is better. Again, the KTM 250 Adventure compared to the older 250 Adventure, remarkably better, right?
Correct. So the older bike was in fact just the Duke with a little more travel, but this has proper suspension travel. In fact, this underneath is the same setup as the 390 ADVX. So long travel suspension, everything right down to the wheels, and everything is the 390 Adventure. The only difference being the engine, right? So that is the only change here. So rough roading, bad roads, everything, this will take it in its stride. It's just that this has a slight firm edge towards the rear monoshock, but the XPulse is flat sorted.
So in terms of city performance, again, both the motorcycles are almost on par. The XPulse has a slight advantage because of its agility and better suspension. And when it comes to features, also almost identical.
Yeah, nearly identical. So that is the top version. This is only one version. Both of them have the same set of features, TFT consoles, ABS modes, USB charging, turn-by-turn navigation, whatnot. Everything is
Bluetooth connectivity and all.
Only this one has the lovely quick shifter.
Yeah.
So that is the advantage. And yeah, more or less features-wise, they are identical that way.
So that's it in terms of features, almost identical. So let's get into verdict and pricing. So let's get pricing out of the way, and there is a big difference between these two motorcycles.
Yeah, this is the top version, like I said. So 1,86,000.
Okay.
2,60,000.
That's all. More than 70,000. This time I've got my maths right. More than 70,000. So yeah, in terms of sheer value, XPulse 210 right up there.
Correct.
But the KTM 250 Adventure is also not bad for the kind of performance and everything it is offering. Actually, I think the Suzuki V-Strom 250 would have been a more closer competitor to this.
Yes, but again, the 250 V-Strom is roughly 210, 220.
Yeah, so that's
Still justifying that 40,000 rupee bump up is not ideal. What makes it even more difficult to suggest the 250 Adventure is, in case if you are willing to spend this much, you can spend another 40,000 and get the 390 ADVX, which is a far better motorcycle, and you can still chill and calmly ride that motorcycle, and you get cruise control now, you get traction control now, you get all of the fanciness, which this misses out.
Yeah, so I think the KTM 250 Adventure kind of finds it in a very oddball space, because the XPulse 210 again is offering you tremendous value. Also, just not the value aspect. This is a more versatile motorcycle, because this can be your one motorcycle in your garage, while that can't be the only motorcycle in your garage.
See, to finding the reason to buy this is simple. You want a 250cc adventure tourer. You're not interested in going fast.
Yeah.
You want a bike that will do everything, but at a very calm pace, and you don't want to spend too much. You're not a Shosha kind of guy.
Kind of. but then this motorcycle is a bit shorter. Anyways, I think yeah, the XPulse still has the more versatile use case. And for me personally, I think the step up from the 200 to 210. So yes, in terms of the displacement compared to the older motorcycle, it's just 10cc. But as a motorcycle, the new XPulse is a much better and improved motorcycle from Hero. Yes, we still want the XPulse 250 to come into the picture. I think that will actually give it that highway touring aspect, which the KTM currently has the advantage at. But overall, I think the XPulse 210 makes sense.
Yes. And what do you think about our video? Do let us know in the comment section below. We've got an admirer for these two bikes. Which one are you picking? Oh, KTM. He's like a KTM though. But please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Please wear riding gear on all your rides and stay safe out on the roads.
And thank you for watching. And if you have any suggestions or anything, please drop them in the comment section and do engage with us. Thank you for watching.